you have a message for him?
Honestly, he got a fight next week, right? So it seemed like he focused on me, and Lamont Roach is focused on him. I think I'm going to go put my bet in on Lamont Roach.
As you talk sports, is
the overall makeup of a Tank Davis is surprising to most fighters. It won't be surprising to Lamont Roach. And Lamont is a DMV fighter himself, which means he got that dog, you know? It's going to be a good fight.
Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach have their fight tomorrow, and boxing professionals have made their final picks. Interestingly, Lamont Roach's confidence during the press meetings and all through the build-up paid off, as he has been earned the belief of some boxing professionals, even if the dreaded Gervonta Davis isn't looking like he's ready to give up his perfect boxing record.
When it comes to the invitation thing, but obviously he here for a reason. He do what he's supposed to do with the guys that's in front of him. He got good skills.
Gervonta Tank Davis, with a perfect record of 30-0 with 28 knockouts, is on a 21-fight streak of victories by knockout or technical knockout, barring his decision win against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He last fought in June, knocking out Frank Martin in the 8th round using his speed and power to outclass Martin. Meanwhile, Roach, a junior lightweight champion, is gaining weight to face Davis, one of boxing's most dominant knockout assassins.
You gotta look for him, you know? Mm-hmm. If you switch it up now, it ain't gonna do too much. We don't have enough time to switch it up, you know?
Some boxing professionals feel like Davis picked a weaker opponent to fight and maintain his perfect record because the fight lacks the excitement and competitiveness a matchup against another top lightweight contender could have offered. Teofimo Lopez feels it's a mismatch, and he's less concerned about Lamont Roach's championship status.
You know what I'm saying? They're about to put him with a guy at 130 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again.
I'm saying they're about to put him with a guy that's 130 pounds, whether he's a champion or not. You're getting a guy lighter than you come up in weight to make you look good. I dominate any of them.
Alright guys, turn on and face the crowd. Turn on and face the crowd now. Cameras in the back, guys. Hector, camera in the back. Camera all the way in the back.
Two-division champion Teofimo Lopez, who just indicated he was ready for a confrontation later this year, is among those looking for a fight. In a recent interview with Fight Hype, Lopez questioned Davis's faith in facing elite opponents.
Building up his followers, you know, and now look where that got him. So the whole thing is all about, man, just I'm a real fighter. That's what it is, man, the truth. And the truth hurts a lot of people, but they got to learn how to.
He underlined the long-standing belief that Davis has been under close control by his management, particularly citing his earlier resistance to face Vasily Lomachenko. The main hole that they have, they don't believe in themselves. How many times did they say that Tank Davis was not ready for Loma, that they had to prep him? How many times did Mayweather have to speak for Gervonta Tank Davis? I'm just speaking facts.
Each our words, take it in. I beat Lomachenko. For me, I scored a 9-3. For you guys, I could care less because y'all don't know shit about boxing.
Lopez also spoke of an earlier sparring session he conducted with Davis 11 years ago. Whereas Davis was already a professional fighter at 18, Lopez was just 15 at the time. Other than what he described as Davis's aggressive strategies in the ring, Lopez acknowledged that not much can be drawn from the experience. Notwithstanding these observations, Lopez does not minimize Davis's skills. Davis is no easy opponent, he said in a past interview with Fight Sports, but he still believes he is the only one equipped to overcome him.
Take that in. I ain't one to fucking play with.
I respect it, man. Your truth.
Tank ain't a pushover. I guess the only one that can really beat Tank is me. I guess I gotta do it. Nobody else can do the job. Female heavyweight champion Claressa Shields, a sworn enemy of Gervonta Davis, surprisingly gave a very balanced prediction.
Tank, I mean, like, he's a bad man. He can fight, he's tough. I know we had our dispute back and forth, whatever, at the end of the day, if we talk about just boxing.
Hey, absolutely.
I don't know why everybody's kind of sleeping on Lamont, but he has a decorated amateur career too. He's a very sturdy kid. He's very skilled. Tank is Tank, and when I say Tank is Tank, I mean like he's a bad man. He can fight, he's tough. Of course, you don't expect Claressa Shields to forget their feud in a hurry. Hence, she added, I know we had our dispute back and forth or whatever, but at the end of the day, if we talk about just boxing, he's a good fighter. And I look forward to watching that fight.
And I look forward to watching that fight.
Is this a pay-per-view fight though? Would you buy it? Are you gonna buy it?
I bought any fight that Tank has had pay-per-view, and I think that
When asked if it was worth a pay-per-view fight and if she was going to buy the ticket, she answered, "I've always bought any fight that Tank has had on pay-per-view, and I think that Lamont Roach is worth watching. I think that this fight is going to be very technical, very skillful, and as always, we're going to put the power of Tank on display. Let the best man win this." On the other hand, Tim Bradley calls it a tank protection program. He said, "This dude looks like a total fraud. Put him in the ring with someone that can punch back. This is the tank protection program. This has been going along for a long time. People bringing fighters up from slower weight class to get in there with Tank. Tank looks spectacular, but it's a cover-up."
Bringing fighters up from a lower weight class to get in there with Tank. Tank looks spectacular, but it's a cover-up. I'm gonna tell you right now, I think Tank is a good fighter. They're saying they don't have an opponent for.
He added, "I'm going to tell you right now, I think Tank is a good fighter." They're saying that they don't have an opponent for him? Yes, you do. His name is De Los Santos, and the fans won't mind paying for a De Los Santos fight, but they're covering something. I don't know what it is. Is it the power of De Los Santos they're worried about? Tank was doing a whole lot of talking when Shakur Stevenson put everybody to sleep with De Los Santos, but he won't step his behind in the ring and face De Los Santos. He concluded, "That's the fight that everybody wants to see. Nobody's going to pay for this pay-per-view with Lamont Roach. People are going to show up because it's Gervonta Davis, but those pay-per-view numbers you're chasing, it's going to be a wishing well."
Yes, you do. His name is De Los Santos, and the fans wouldn't mind paying for a De Los Santos fight, but they're covering something. I don't know what it is. Is it the power of De Los Santos?
On the other hand, the welterweight sensation Kenneth Sims Jr., who has fought against both Roach and Davis, also shared his views about the fight and stated what these fighters must do to win the match. At first, the boss man avoided trying to predict the fight. As he was on good terms with both of them, Sims felt it would be a bit disrespectful. However, he later gave in and spoke about how he and Roach shared some wholesome moments during their nationals when they faced each other in the semifinals.
Definitely a fight that, like a great fight for boxing. I think that boxing fans are trying to basically shut Lamont out. I don't know, maybe because he's not a big name.
But upon being asked what both of them have to do to win the fight, the Illinois resident mentioned how both Roach and Tank are counterpunchers, and to win the fight, one of them has to come out of their comfort zone to get the other one to open. He also touched upon the fact that Gervonta Davis is a slow starter and it takes time for him to come into the groove. Tank starts slow, but as the fight goes, he is going to pick it up and then he get busy, stated Kenneth Sims Jr. But to win this fight, he will have to go on attacking quite earlier than usual. Otherwise, it might be too late given how fast Roach boxes and picks up points early in the fight.
I'm looking forward to watching the fight.
Do you think the fact that it is going to be a technical fight, do you think that favors Lamont or does it favor Tank?
This was a surprising take, given how most have simply written off Lamont Roach in his lightweight title debut. However, when asked what his views on the Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach fight were, promoter Eddie Hearn said that Roach is a good fighter, and that the overall reaction to the fight was unfair. Following the announcement of the clash, scheduled for December 14th, many were surprised by the choice of Roach as Davis's opponent.
Announcement of the Gervonta Davis-Roach fight.
I think that, it's had a lot of criticism, but it's not.
Hearn claims that Tank, the WBA lightweight champion, had no choice but to avoid these fighters for various reasons. Ryan Garcia is suspended, Shakur Stevenson is injured, Isaac Pitbull Cruz was recently beaten, Devin Haney, overcome Vasily Lomachenko, made the decision to miss the rest of 2024.
I won't be doing my phases for this one because we know the family, Yeah, that things get.
Tank Davis has the option to fight Eden De Los Santos, Andy Cruz, Keyshawn Davis, and Raymond Muratalla, but none of them are as well known as Lamont Roach. There wouldn't be a spike in PPV purchases over Tank Davis's choice of Roach, even if he had chosen one of them, and casual boxers wouldn't know who they are. I think the online reaction is a little bit unfair. Lamont Roach is a good fighter. The problem is no one knows who he is, and with Tank's position in the sport, people want him in big fights, and it's not a big fight. If you know your boxing, you know it's a good fight. He's a super featherweight, but what were the available options for Tank really? Eddie Hearn said in an interview with Fight Hub TV.
Not a bad fight, Lamont Roach is a world champion. He's smaller than Gervonta Davis. The problem is not many people are aware of who he is or his ability, but he can.
The outcry has been sparked by more than just the fact that nobody knows who Roach is, but boxing enthusiasts who are sure Roach is incapable. Although this is a difficult fight for Roach, 29, it is an opportunity for him to elevate his career as he will face one of boxing's biggest names. He is a skilled and crafty fighter with a strong chin, and if he can capitalize on Davis's tendency to start slow, there is a slim chance he could make the fight competitive and secure an early victory.
I see a nice competitive fight.
Nice competitive fight?
Yeah. He's not going to fight.
While Davis remains a massive draw in boxing, the fight has left some fans underwhelmed, hoping for a more marquee matchup against top contenders in his weight class. But boxing is a game of shockers, isn't it? Interestingly, Lamont Roach is gearing himself up for the biggest moment of his career. He wants more than just a big payday from Gervonta Davis. He wants Gervonta Davis's belt. He wants revenge, and his training camp experience is bringing him closer to that every day. What's even crazier, and might be more fearful for Gervonta Davis, is the tragedy that characterizes Lamont Roach's training experience, which would always be a part of him as long as he fights. The loss of his coach some years ago. Even Gervonta Davis knows it's hard to defeat someone who has a reason to fight for, or one fighting from the place of pain. Think of Buster Douglas, who had just lost his mother when he became the unlikely winner against Mike Tyson over 30 years ago. Although Lopez has not stated a specific fight date, he has indicated at another potential weight increase. Davis is supposed to make a comeback to the ring in December in Washington, maybe facing Lamont Roach, the super featherweight champion. The former featherweight champion Russell says WBA regular lightweight champion Tank Davis is bamboozling the public.
The right opponent, or that Lamont's not going to present a challenge.
It ain't no perception. Y'all know what it is, man. Tank picking and choosing. I always say it.
Picking and choosing weak opposition instead of the fighters that fans want to see him. This is done to ensure that Tank doesn't get beaten. Tank Davis has been holding the secondary World Boxing Association lightweight belt for ages, which has kept him protected from having to fight the dangers that he would have to face if he held the main title. Russell doesn't think too much of Tank's latest choice of opponent, Lamont Roach, who was dug up from the super featherweight division.
Ain't nothing personal, but at some point, Tank gotta take it personal. If I'm saying, I think you a bitch because you fighting somebody that's really not a dog, that's really...
He claimed Tank has been fighting a lot of people, that fans don't want to see him fight anyway. I could have seen that coming, said Gary Russell Jr. to Fight Hype, reacting to Gervonta Davis handpicking Lamont Roach from the super featherweight division rather than selecting a lightweight. Gervonta has been fighting opposition that fans had no interest in seeing for his 11-year career. The only instance where he fought someone that fans wanted to see was when he fought Ryan Garcia, and that was considered a mismatch. Whatever chance Ryan had of winning, Tank's weight stipulations that he was stuck in the contract drained it right out of him.
I'm not gonna, now don't get me wrong, I don't wanna discredit Lamont Roach. I know Lamont Roach, he's a good guy, you know what I'm saying? I know his father, they all cool, you know what I'm saying? But
I don't think he can do that for much longer. I believe the fans as well as the media networks like yourself that have the platform and have the ability to push, Russell said, when asked how much longer Tank Davis can get away with cherry-picking weak opposition the way he's been doing his entire 11-year career. Tank will likely get away with soft opposition up until he retires because he doesn't bring in large PPV numbers, and he's got a loyal following. They don't care if he doesn't fight great opposition because many of them don't know anything about the sport. As far as they're concerned, Lamont Roach is elite. However, fighting the kind of opposition that Tank has faced since he turned pro in 2013 will doom him to lower PPV numbers for the remainder of his career.
I think it's levels to everything. Don't think that you're fighting someone from the area and make it seem like it's Baltimore versus something.
He's never going to be someone who brings in 1 million buys because he's not fighting the opposition that people want to see. Y'all are the ones who are being bamboozled. Y'all want to see the best compete against the best, and the people that y'all feel as though are the best, they're not trying to compete against the best, said Russell. They'd rather fight someone that y'all don't even know. Y'all never heard of them. If Tank's management cared about matching him against the best, he would be scheduled to fight Edwin de los Santos on December 14th, not Lamont Roach. He would have fought Vasily Lomachenko in 2017 when he was first called out by him.
That dog from the area, because that dog from the area is right here. Everybody know that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. He picked.
Everybody is like, damn, why is he fighting this person? Nah, that stuff is too difficult for them. Your favorite fighters are suckers out here. That's a fact. A period on that. It ain't no perception. Tank is picking and choosing. I always say, it ain't nothing personal. But Tank got to take it personally if I'm saying, I think you're a wimp because you're fighting someone that's not a dog. I don't want to discredit Lamont Roach. I know Lamont Roach, he's a good guy. I know his father. They're all cool, but there are levels to everything. Don't think that you're fighting someone from the area and making it seem like it's Baltimore versus some dog from the area.
At some point, when does pride, when does ego, when does integrity kicks in and say, fuck it, I really do want to see, am I as good as I really think I am?
He then continued, he's picking and choosing. At some point, when does pride, when does ego, when does integrity kick in and say, I really do want to see if I am as good as I really think I am? I want to try to do better. Where is that in the sport today? If they're both 100% healthy, I don't think Lamont has a chance of winning this fight. In my personal opinion, I don't think Lamont is going to win the fight. It'll be interesting in the beginning half of the fight. In the latter half of the fight, Tank is going to start walking him down and start touching him. KO or TKO, one of the two, said Russell Jr. on the outcome of the Tank versus Roach fight. It'll be a money grab type of thing for Lamont. He'll get a little money, but it's not the career-defining stuff. Tank fighting Lamont Roach is not a career-defining fight. It's not a fight where people will think that he's at risk or Lamont is a threat to him.
From a boxing standpoint, what makes Tank Tank? We see the power, but it's got to be more than that.
Nah, he's strategic. He's setting guys up. He's been boxing since a little kid, just like...
This fight is shaping up to be a technical bout with a sensational undercard. Both of them are strong, and though Tank is an astoundingly heavy favorite, experts and boxers are still not counting out Lamont Roach completely. Ahead of the fight, Fight Hype sat down with Richardson Hitchens and Kenneth Sims Jr. to know their views regarding the fight, and their answers might surprise you. Fight Hype asked the undefeated super lightweight Hitchens about the history between him and the two fighters, and what everyone can expect from their fight. The New York resident talked about the similarities between Tank and Roach and advised the fans to not take the latter lightly. Hitchens was sure that the 25, one boxer, would stun everyone, and it would be a brilliant fight.
Years ago, I want to say like 2016, 2017, years ago. I think it's a great fight, you know, because this guy Lamont Roach.
Lamont came up in the same type of environment as Tank. They both got a lot of similarities. I think a lot of people are writing Lamont off because of loss against Jamel Herring, but he has shown consistency over the years, stated Hitchens, while talking about how Roach has turned his career around since the loss against Herring in 2019. The 18-0 boxer then promised the fight to be a technical feat and stated that even he was looking forward to the fight. While talking about who will have the upper hand in a technical fight, Richardson Hitchens stated, "It is going to be a great technical fight. Tank is a defensive genius. He knows how to protect himself and knows ways to maneuver."
He came up in that same type of like environment as Tank. You know, they both are DMV fighters. They both school kind of. They both got it.
He further stated that if the fight gets dragged to later rounds, Tank will have a clear advantage because of his near-perfect defense. According to Hitchens, Roach should try to finish the fight early because if it comes to the later rounds, there is a high chance that Davis will drag the fight to his pace to get the desired result. While defending Roach as a capable opponent for Gervonta Davis, Hitchens added, "It's not just like Tank is just picking out a bum. Lamont probably knows how to fight more than a lot of guys Tank fought."
Kind of like a lot of similarities. They both boxed each other numerous times. And I think that a lot of people riding Lamont off because of his one loss with Jamel Herring.
On the other hand, the welterweight sensation Kenneth Sims Jr., who has fought against both Roach and Davis, also shared his views about the fight and stated what these fighters must do to win the match. At first, the boss man avoided trying to predict the fight. As he was on good terms with both of them, Sims felt it would be a bit disrespectful. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.